Close and personal encounters with Rihanna and Lady Gaga are just two of the stories shared by our next guest in her new book. Here it is right here. It's called Reset with Resilience, a guide to greatness when your goals go sideways.
Love that title. Joining us is author Mandy Gill, an athlete, entrepreneur, workplace performance expert. She's from Vancouver and joins us now to help share how to turn setbacks into successes. Welcome to the morning show.
Thank you for having me. This is so exciting.
Well, it is our pleasure. And as I said, I love that title. You have worn many hats.
Yes.
You radio broadcaster. You've climbed the highest peaks in Nepal. You have run marathons.
I'm feeling very unaccomplished.
You're accomplished. Believe me, what you do is also inspiring.
But I'm sure in all of those environments, you've experienced setbacks, and I'm sure people at home right now have setbacks that they're facing, and they're trying to find some inspiration and motivation to push through. What is your biggest piece of advice for people facing setbacks in their moment right now?
You know, and I love that you bring up the topic of like such big achievements, because none of that happens without recognizing that you are set to have setbacks. Like, we have to have these setbacks in order to continue on the path forward. And so take small, consistent steps. That is, like, if there's one thing you get out of this book, it's to recognize that you can do everything in small, consistent steps consistently and achieve what your utmost goal is in your own mind. Because at the end of the day, it really just comes down to showing up.
Sure.
You have to show up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Not only that, but also step outside your comfort zone. Be willing to do that. Talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, so stepping outside of your comfort zone, I mean, that is a topic that so many times that we think it's easy to do, but at the end of the day, when it comes time to actually doing it, you feel those gears kind of like bringing you backwards, right? And so stepping outside of your comfort zone really means showing up for yourself. And how do we show up for ourselves? Well, we have to figure out what the path looks like. We have to minimize the noise and figure out where that clarity and that focus is. And so really getting on that path to knowing how you're going to get to your goal, and making sure that you minimize the distractions that are on that path.
Okay. We mentioned off the top a couple of celebrity encounters that you mention in your book. Let's begin with Rihanna. Tell us about this experience, this encounter, and how that kind of
resilience?
inspired. Yeah.
Let's just say I failed, okay? Let's just put that out there from the top. Oh, that is a very young Mandy. That is like circa 2010. I think it's the Last Girl on Earth tour. I was called to do the intro for her on stage. Long story short, I got up on stage, 18,000 screaming fans, my microphone didn't work. What do you want to do? That's an immediate setback. I wanted to run off the stage.
Right.
I couldn't. There was all these fans standing in front of me, cheering, waiting for her to come up. And my voice was like a pebble in the ocean, pretty much. Like, nobody could hear a thing of what I was saying. So in other words, in that moment, I was like, reset with resilience. This is immediately what you need to do. And so I got everybody singing Row to Row, the Umbrella song that she has, right? You know, the catchy one. And then you see the phones out and the lights going in. I'm like, this is resilience. We just have to show up, and we have to recognize that there are always going to be setbacks. Sometimes, hopefully, you get a couple more seconds than what I had to realize how you're going to act fast on your feet. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to use that as an example that it happens.
Yeah. You want to take that setback and turn it into a success.
Exactly.
Somehow. Yeah.
And she was like, how did you create this? And I was like, I don't even know, but it happened.
All right. Tell us about Lady Gaga that you actually booked when you were working in radio, right?
Yeah. So her producer at the time, manager, coming out at Just Dance, it was like 2008, I believe it was. And they had dropped the ball by telling us that she was coming into town. Long story short, I gave her the last time slot that we had, which was like 5:35. No one ever takes that time slot.
In the morning.
In the morning. Thank you for specifying. Yes, in the morning. She showed up like the woman we know, right? Like the bedazzled glasses, the big cane, all of that to say, she performed later in a pub that night for 22 of us. My best friend and I were 21 and 22, so 20 people bought tickets to the show in the pub that night that she performed. She performed in that pub the exact same way that she does, showing up at the Grammys, showing up at the Oscars, the way that we'd know her now. And so her lesson to me in that moment, which I was thrilled to be able to bring into the book, was start how you want to finish. Right? We need to have the lens of seeing, like, how do I want to finish this goal? Well, then I need to show up like that from the very beginning.
Wow, that's great. By the way, if Lady Gaga is watching right now, we've got 9:30 available tomorrow. That's 4 hours later than what Mandy offered you.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's right.
Yeah.
Very nicer.
Oh my gosh, Mandy, there's so much great stuff in here. I love it. I love it. It is called Reset with Resilience, a guide to greatness when your goals go sideways, which is every other day on the morning show.
Pretty much, yeah. Could be the subtitle for our show. Yeah. Mandy, thank you so much.
You went well.
Appreciate it.